Hey everybody, I'm Richie Torrance of Rich Atlanta, Keller Williams. And hey, you thinking about moving to Atlanta and you're curious to know about the weather of Atlanta? Stay tuned, I'm about to break it down for you. All right, so let's start at the top of the year, right? Let's look at January. Let's look at winter, all right? Winters in Atlanta are not bad at all because, and I don't have the data in front of me, I'm just going off my experience. I mean, it doesn't really start getting cold until around December, and it doesn't really get bone chilling. I mean, you have your little week here and week there where it's bone chilling, but then it'll be like 60 degrees or 55 degrees and a cool little bit of a breeze, which I like that because, winters in the South are pretty easy, especially in Atlanta. But, we do get a little bit of snow, and make sure you go to the grocery store and go ahead and stock up because everybody just, they're getting all the milk, they're getting all the bread, like the apocalypse is coming. But either way, winters are very easy, very easy in Atlanta. You can still get out and walk around, get in nature, and do the regular city life living. And, but you do have a couple of weeks that are cold, but most of the time it's like 40, 50, and 60 degrees, and sometimes it gets up into 70. I remember a couple of years ago when it was like 70 during Christmas, and I wasn't mad at that. So, of course, I like things a little warm, but I'm also okay with a little cold. But that's how the winters are in Atlanta. All right, so let's get into the springtime, the magical time. That's when everything really comes to life, just like anywhere else on the planet, I'm assuming. But springtime, it flows pretty seamless from March into April, but where you really see the difference is when that pollen comes out. You'll just see hazes of like yellow clouds of pollen. Stocked up on your Clarity and get your shots if you have to. It's real intense for about 2.5, 3 weeks. And it depends on how sensitive your allergies are, because I am actually pretty sensitive. But those 2 or 3 weeks while everything's starting to bloom, it's a haze, but it's beautiful. I mean, the temperatures are just like so perfect. But once that's done and everything starts becoming green, Atlanta, everybody is out on the Beltline, out in Midtown, out in Roswell, out everywhere. And it's just like a celebratory, just big old vibrant event up until, the end of summer. But springtimes here are real easy. Just be prepared for the pollen, but that's like anywhere else. I know I lived in Nashville for a minute and it was like, ooh, hold on a second. It was a lot worse. But Atlanta, springtime, it's happening. Let's talk about summertime in the South. And I've got one syllable word for it: hot. Boy, it is hot. Hashtag hot. How you doing? So, and it starts around the end of May. After Memorial Day weekend is when it just gets heavy and it gets hot. But hey, that's summertime, right? And the sun doesn't really usually go down until about 9:30 at night, especially during June and July. It's really cool, actually, because I've got a unit that faces west, so I can see the sunset, and at 9:30 it's just setting, which is really, really cool. But anyway, the temperature-wise, it is heavy, it's hot, it's humid, but that's just part of living in the South in the summertime. But it's not so brutal that you can't get out. It's a different type of heat than you feel out west. Like, I was out in Vegas a couple of years ago. It was 114 degrees. How does any human survive in that? But it's just a different type of heat. And it's going to be heavy from June, July, and August. September, it starts breaking. So usually everybody's going to the beach in those months, but it's real heavy and it's hot. It is hot. But the average temperature, I would say, I'm not going off that. I'm just going off, what I see in my car when I get in. It's looking like 90, 95 degrees during the summer. It rarely gets over 100, but anyway, summertime in the South, hashtag hot. All right, now let's talk about the fall. Falls in Atlanta, Georgia are absolutely spectacular, right? As far as the greenery, it starts shifting late October, right? But the temperature stays in the 70s, gets down in the 60s, sometimes back up in the 80s, but it's just really cool. And just, there's so much to do in Atlanta during the fall. There's so much to do in Atlanta, it doesn't matter if it's 0 degrees outside. But as far as the weather in the fall, it's just super easy in the 70s. And, if you're only moving to Atlanta for a few months, come during the fall. That is one of the most magical times of the year. And then the moon gets all big and stuff, especially cruising down 285 and the moon looks like it's about that big. But anyway, that's more of the October vibes. But yeah, definitely fall. Yeah, hashtag 70s. And boom, there you go. Hey, so we hope you found this video informative because, a lot of people call that are relocating. Like, hey man, what's the weather like down there in Atlanta? So we hope this gives you some perspective. And hey, if you live in the area, I'd be curious to know what's your feedback regarding the different seasons and what the weather's like. Leave a comment below. And if you got any questions, if you're looking to move to Atlanta, hey, reach out to us directly. We'll be happy to help any way we can. And I always request, I hate to be like, hey, please subscribe, but we need a little favor with the algorithm. So if you don't mind just clicking the like button, hit subscribe. If you like the content, it would mean a lot to us. So hey, until next time, have a good one.